Hello there, welcome to another Where's the Remote review. Talking about Avengers Endgame, which I saw midnight viewing in the UK on Wednesday, Thursday technically. If any of you are new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe for more, like the video if you agree with me, and subscribe if you're new. So, Avengers Endgame, I watched it it's been a few days since I've watched it now. I watched Infinity War not so long ago as well, and now that I think about it, the more that I realise that Infinity War was a better movie. And these are my reasons why. So the things with Infinity War is that was a game-changing Marvel movie. I mean, Avengers 1 is what started it all. If you exclude Iron Man, Avengers 1 is what started it all. Sort of brought the movie that brought everyone together, and you showed like what it's like when all these heroes come in one place to try and achieve one goal, which was like save the world or whatnot. Infinity War, the stakes were so high. They were trying to save half the universe, stop Thanos, and Thanos was someone that they'd been indirectly fighting with for years. But with Infinity War, the story was groundbreaking, the writing was groundbreaking, the visuals was groundbreaking, the fights were groundbreaking, everything was groundbreaking, and to me that is still my number one MCU Marvel movie ever to be made. Endgame, the more that I think about it now, the more I actually realise that it's not actually the first half, that's slow and is comedy. It's the first 2/3 of the film, but it's only about the last 45 minutes of the film, where the film actually gets like really good. We're going to talk about spoilers, so spoiler alert in this film, well in this video, because we'll talk about a few spoilers. But it doesn't. The thing about Endgame is that, the comedy and stuff is quite nice and the throwbacks are quite nice, but you're still, for me personally, I still felt like I was waiting for the film to actually just get on with it and just get started. And then that doesn't happen until Thanos arrives, past Thanos arrives in the future. And before then, it's really slow. And for an MCU Marvel movie, that's quite rare. For the movie to be that slow and for that long, especially for an Avengers film, I thought that was quite rare. And I was watching, and I found myself when I was in the cinema, I was just sitting around, like my legs crossed, like tapping my lap, thinking, okay, like this has been going on for a while now. Like, when is the action? When is it actually really going to kick in? And with Infinity War, you didn't have that. I didn't feel like it. Infinity War, I was gripped from the very beginning, like from when Thanos has the Asgardian ship and he's wiping all the Asgardians out on that ship. You're like, wow. And he kills Idris, he kills Loki, and he destroys the ship and leaves for. From that opening was crazy. That opening was absolutely insane. But this one starts with Hawkeye, losing his family, which was, that was quite sad, but it didn't have the same, to me, it didn't have the same effect that the opening from Endgame did, because, Infinity War did, because Infinity War was all characters that we've been invested in and we knew quite well. Hawkeye's family, they are a side plot in the MCU, so I'm not really that invested in them, therefore I didn't have too much of an emotional reaction. But yeah, and then from after that happens in Endgame, it all drags. Like they find Thanos so quickly and they deal with him so quickly. After that, there's about well over an hour of just comedy, and then trying to go back in time, and it's really slow after that. I think Endgame started off like quite good, and then because they dealt with Thanos so quickly, future Thanos. After that, the rest of the story drags on up until the past Thanos comes back. The thing is, if the final battle didn't happen in this film, I would have been really disappointed with Endgame. Really disappointed. For me, that last third, that last 45-50 minutes of the film saved the film for me. Because if that didn't happen, then to me it would have been a very mediocre MCU film, which I really did not want, especially for the last, goodbye to Chris Hemsworth and Robert Downey Jr. playing their roles. So, and Infinity War didn't feel that once, because Infinity War is just straight chaos, action. The stakes are high throughout the entire film. The stakes are high. Like there's no time to chill. There's no time to like wait around to see what's happening. With Infinity War, you're engaged and you're drawn in for the entire film. But for Endgame, there's a lot of time for you to. I don't know. I feel like within the first 2/3 of the film, I could have left my seat, gone to the toilet maybe twice, and I wouldn't have missed much. But with Infinity War, you were hooked in the entire time that you're watching the film. Yeah, in my review, I said that Endgame was 8 out of 10. I still hold that because the final part was phenomenal. Like the final battle was better than the battle on Titan in Infinity War. Definitely was, and that battle was brilliant. But the final one was better because it was everyone against Thanos, which was great. But it takes about 2 hours, almost. It takes 2 hours just to get to that point, which is the highlight of the film. And yeah, like I said before, if that didn't happen, it would have been a very mediocre movie in my opinion. I've seen quite a few people saying online that Infinity War was better, because I originally said in my review that I thought Infinity War was definitely better. Some people agree, some people disagreed. That's completely fine. But I loved Endgame. I thought Endgame was great. Don't get me wrong, but it's not as good as Infinity War. Infinity War was my number one MCU film. Infinity War was probably like 9.5 out of 10 for me. Brilliant. And another thing about Endgame is that there was no redeeming moment for Bruce Banner as Hulk. Because when I saw Hulk come back, I thought, because he's Professor Hulk now, because he's using Bruce Banner's mind but Hulk's physical strength, I thought that we were going to see him do some crazy stuff. But we didn't. He fights in the war, but after he goes into the war with Thanos, you don't see him again. It's only Cap and Captain Marvel and Iron Man and Thor that go at him. So yeah, missed opportunity there. I would have liked to see Hulk redeem himself in Endgame, and you don't get to see that, unfortunately. And another thing that really frustrates me, but I'll talk about it in another video, is what they did to Thor. I was okay with it as a plot twist at the beginning, but I was hoping that once they went to fight Thanos, he would have got, he would have gone back to his normal self and hopefully reverted back to the God of Thunder, because that's who is the God of Thunder. But no, it didn't happen. But anyway, Infinity War, my opinion, still better than Endgame and still the number one MCU movie. So what do you guys all think? Let me know in the comments below. And if you're new to my channel, don't forget to subscribe for more and turn on your notifications. And I will see you on my next MCU Avengers Endgame video.